Why can't I retire now? Is a common question retirees often ask me. The truth is, no single retiree experiences the same situation, and that's why today I'm going to step through a case study where I explain why someone age 61 with $1.8 million might not be able to retire. Over the past 14 plus years, I've helped retirees find confidence by building retirement plans that allow them to retire at the right time. For a lot of people, making the transition into retirement is harder than it sounds. Not because they're not ready, but because there are financial scenarios many retirees haven't considered. Well, I not only am going to walk through whether someone age 61 with $1.8 million in savings may not be able to retire, but I'll walk you through the exact thought process so you can apply it to your own situation. Let's get into the video. So here's what we're looking at. Here's our couple, Chandler and Monica Bing. Chandler and Monica are like a lot of people that I talk to. They're 61, they've done well for themselves, and they want to start to enjoy life. They want to see if they can retire. Monica works some really long hours. Chandler has a big stress job, and they want to start the next chapter. They recently had a friend who passed away, and that made them realize that life is short. They're ready to start enjoying their life, and they think they should be fine because they've got almost $2 million. $1.8 million is a nice amount of retirement money. So they get in touch, and they want to see how things look if they decide to up and walk away. Let's start digging into the details. Now, as I said, they're both 61 years old. Chandler works at big marketing company as a vice president. He's making nice money, around $155,000 per year. And Monica works for Chez Couteau, a French restaurant, as an executive chef, making $125,000 per year. So combined, they've got almost $300,000 a year in income. As far as the assets go, they've got $100,000 sitting in a bank money market, a high yield savings account. And then Chandler has $900,000 in his 401k. It's invested in a moderate risk portfolio. And Monica has $800,000 in her 401k. Both of them are contributing 10% of their own pay to the retirement accounts, and they get a 3% match from the company. So all in, they've got a little north of $36,000 a year going into retirement savings. Sounds like a nice dollar amount, but because their income's so high, it's actually shy of the 15% per year that I'd like to see them putting away. As far as Social Security income goes, what will they have when they get there at full retirement age? 67 for both of them. Chandler's looking at around $3,700 per month, and Monica would be around $3,400 per month. So that gets them to almost $85,000 per year in income, but that's not until they're age 67. And remember, they're only 61 today. Now, they've got some life insurance. That's a good thing. They've got $1 million each in term life insurance with 15 years left on it. So they've got solid coverage there. And then they've got a home, their primary residence, worth around $650,000. They owe $350,000 on it. It's a 3.5% mortgage. Monthly principal and interest is around $1,900 per month on that. So they've got some debt, but it's tied to their house. Now that we know what they've got, we've taken the inventory on what it is that they're working with, we get to the big questions. What kind of income are they going to need in retirement? And what are the things that they would like to see happen from these assets that they've put away? What kind of life do they want to live in retirement? As I often tell folks, retirement planning is the act of looking at where you are today and then looking at where you want to get to and connecting those 2 points and doing it as efficiently as possible. We've covered the where are they today. We know that. Now comes the important part of writing their tomorrow. In real life, this is the most important part of the whole process, and we'd get real deep on not just the what's, but the whys. Now, for the purposes of a YouTube video, we're going to keep it pretty simple. And so just so we can keep things moving, here goes. They tell me that they'll need around $12,500 per month to meet their day-to-day expenses. That's $150,000 a year if you do the math on it yourself. So they've got that mortgage payment. They live a nice lifestyle. They aren't like flying around the world on a private jet or anything, but they're also not eating dinner at Taco Bell either. So $150,000 a year in retirement income starting today, adjusting up each year for inflation. And the big want is travel. They've got a huge bucket list there, and they think it'll take around $20,000 a year if they retire at 61. And they'll have about 15 years of travel in them before they'll slow down and start to get into sort of the slow go years of retirement. So they want to plan on $20,000 a year in today's dollars for 15 years of travel. Now, I often say that anyone can retire on any day. The question is, how long can they stay retired? Do they actually have the means to live the retirement that they want? And if they don't, what can be done to change the situation? So for Chandler and Monica, here's our moment of truth. Now, it shouldn't be a major surprise if you followed along this far, but here's the story. they stand almost zero chance of being able to get to retire today. 5% is not a good number. Here's why. While $1.8 million is a very nice level of assets, they have two things working against them. First of all, they want to retire early at 61, which means extra years of supporting their income versus someone who retires at a more conventional age. Additionally, for each year that they retire early, they not only need to replace that income, in this case $150,000, but they lose another year of contributing to the accounts and another year for their accounts to grow. You'd be surprised what a difference that makes, but you'll see it in black and white here in just a second when we start to play around with things. The second major thing that they have going against them is the income need. $150,000 a year is not an insignificant amount of retirement income, especially with no guaranteed sources of income early in retirement till they get to Social Security. We've also got those large travel expenses. So if we know that, as described, this is basically a hard no, the next question is, what can we do to make the scenario work? What can we do to help improve things? We've basically got three levers to pull here. They can work longer, they can save more money, or they can spend less. Now, if we take a look at what happens when we start tweaking, we can see a few things. First off, let's get super drastic. What happens if they just full-blown work to full retirement age, to age 67? We keep the expenses as is. We get a massive jump. You can see it goes from 5% to 81%. Here's the problem. No one looking to retire at 61 wants to work 6 more years to make a financial advisor's Monte Carlo simulation look better. So let's see if we can find something that is maybe a little bit closer to reality. Let's pull on the lever of lowering spending. What if they just cut the travel? We say, listen, we're not going to travel. We're going to reduce the retirement expenses all the way down to $120,000 a year. That's still $10,000 a month. Now, this is going to involve some real lifestyle change, and they may have to start to mix in some of those Taco Bell dinners. But if they did it, they can retire today, and all of a sudden they're at an 84% chance of success. Now, that's probably miles better than waiting to age 67. However, I would counsel that they need to be ready for some real lifestyle change to be able to drop from basically $170,000 a year to $120,000. I'd probably want to get into their expenses with them and see what they felt that they could reasonably cut and whether it was truly workable and they could stick to a plan like that, because that's a pretty big jump. My assumption on the probable path forward and what I would likely recommend to them is this. We're going to try and split the difference. What if you work a little bit longer, not to age 67, but a little bit longer, and you cut the expenses somewhat, but not all the way down? So, for example, let's take them to $130,000 a year in retirement income, plus $10,000 a year for travel. Still get the travel, and work even until age 63. If we do that, we can go from 5% to 78%. To me, that's a much more likely goal than working all the way to age 67 or drastically giving up some of their major retirement dreams just to be able to retire today. Now, this brings an important point to light. While I've given you a pretty good look at a case study here, everyone's situation is unique. And while this information can be helpful, don't base your decision to retire on a YouTube video, even a video as awesome as this one. The most important thing to do is to get a good plan in place before you retire. Make sure that it works for you, it's specific to you and your situation and your goals. Now you know the exact process to follow when you're looking to time your retirement. You can use this and apply it to your own situation so that you can avoid the financial missteps many other retirees make. However, there are going to be multiple different nuances that come up in your specific situation that I haven't been able to cover in such a short video. So if you want a team of professionals to analyze your situation and create an optimal plan completely tailored to you, click the link in the description. It'll take you to a page where you can book a completely free consultation with us, where we can begin to help you build the retirement of your dreams.